searching the dark side of the mountain. Through my bones and hair and blood, words rise and cold snatched from my mouth to sink them into the cold black mud.
Benny, Diggin, watch out!
I'm scrambling trying to get the thing a little larger for us to get through, and Tegan's just muttering to herself.
And you hear,
"Oh yeah,
Tegan up there.
Tegan can do the thing and get the crates up there, and Tegan can go digging it. Tegan can do the rope. Tegan.
You hear the ting 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 of a rock from behind you.
Could you secure the rope, please?
Can I turn around, or do I need to like backwards wiggle to grab the rock with the rope?
Yeah, you wiggle your way back and you find the rock with the rope attached to it.
This is worse than being a mine kid. I swear, none of these clothes are gonna be ever clean ever again.
You're able.
Maybe
Benny has another idea.
Maybe send a light one up, because I'm still trying to find something to anchor this to.
There are wedges on the wall and stuff that, you know, it would take a few feet of rope to do it, but you could wrap it around something that would give it some kind of an anchor.
Oh, you got it.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna wrap it, and I'm like, this is good enough. Okay.
Part of it's like a really firm tug.
All right, and it pulls tight, and it is tight. It seems taut.
Non-believer. Turns back around to scramble at the dirt.
Believe but verify.
I'll remember that next time, Father.
All right, Professor, you're first.
Right, could someone give me a boost as I start to go up?
To the rope? The rope's right here.
Up the rope.
No, like that takes a lot of.
We'll give him a head start.
Let's give him a head start. Get boosting the professor.
Kayla has flashbacks to gym class.
And Professor Hayes, I'm not going to make you roll. There's a rope here. You got help.
Please don't.
This is easy enough that even if you have to rest a moment halfway, you can make it up with a rope.
That's good, because I would have rolled a 4.
Oh no! Get them all out now. Get them all out now before we get to the worms.
Yep. Get the low ones out now.
And the rest of you, with a little bit of effort, can climb your way up to that space. And when you get up there, Tegan is kind of digging like a dog, trying to widen the gap. But they're kind of wiping dirt off rock. And it ain't really widening it so much. But you're all laying on your bellies up here, kind of looking around.
Did we all go?
Space. Oh, I don't know. Did you all go? Who did not? Who went and who did not go?
I'd say Walter intended to go.
All right.
I think Tegan's gonna call back. Whoever comes up last, please bring the hammer.
I think if Benny gets permit, Benny won't stay by herself, but she would need permission before she would volunteer to go up.
So it's Bartimaeus looking at Benny. After you.
Benny grabs the hammer. And
Benny
scurries
climbs
on up.
good.
I think Tegan's still muttering to him. He's like, oh, Tegan, do the TNT.
Benny, you get up here
and... Now I'm here just scrabbling at the dirt.
Benny, you get up here. You have that hammer. You know that Father Bartimaeus is coming up last, but you got the hammer, and it is definitely claustrophobic in here, and you still have in your mind that sight that was disturbing. It did not just because you were an owl don't mean you lose the vision of what it was.
No, Benny is on full alert, looking for this thing to come out of her.
Yeah. And you have to kind of wiggle around to get to the front. Well, not to the front, right behind Tegan. between Professor Hayes and Walt and bring Tegan the hammer. And there's your hammer.
Thank you. I'm just gonna try and make some like weaken it some. Like if we can weaken it enough to let somebody who maybe is stronger than me can get through.
Father Bartimaeus, what are you doing when you start hearing the hammer going tink, tink, tink into the rock up there?
He grabs the rope and starts just pulling himself up.
Maybe somebody grab a spike too. That seems like that might help.
Slides back down, grabs the spike. Anything else on my way up?
I'll let you know.
The worst answer possible.
Worst possible answer.
She can teleport stuff now. It's fine.
So none of you hear, but you know, Bartimaeus is now talking to himself. Halfway, I'll tell you what I said. It's a fight.
And you get up, and when you get up, you realize that there's almost no more room once you get in. It really is a very tight gap.
Is the hole broad enough that if I brace my legs, I can lean back and rest my back against the other side of the hole?
No, you can't sit up. You could rest your neck against something like if you're.
So it's still in the hole, the width of the hole.
Oh, the width?
Yeah, the width of the hole is enough where if I brace my feet, if there's no room up there for me to be, could I brace my feet in like rest?
Balancing.
Right. And rest without putting strain on my body in the hole.
Yeah, you could take the weight off. You could take the strain off.
I'm gonna do that then. That way it's not crowded up there.
Okay. And Tegan is chiseling away hitting away at the stone, and the stone starts to give a little bit, and you are able to start peeling out. But you got to do something with the rocks as you're getting them.
Pass it
Just
back.
shove them
Yep.
into the cavern.
So you're gonna fill the hole in front of you.
Well, I'm
With
gonna
more.
if I can yeet them past where I think the opening is, because we know it opens up. So I'm just
Yeah.
if it's loose rock, we can push through it. It's fine.
Father's like, quiet, Tegan. Don't want to wake the
Been
world.
working on the railroad.
Yeah, just do this, like, ching,
Don't
ching.
start
You-
singing,
You
please.
it takes a while, but you feel you have broken enough that you could squeeze through. It would be tight, but you could squeeze through it. You'd have to go several yards before it opened up enough that you wouldn't have to be wedged through this little hole. It'd
Is
still
it
be
open
low,
up-
but it wouldn't be
Yeah.
like.
I could wedge through. Is it wide enough that Father and Walt could wedge? I'm not worried about Professor. He's probably skinnier than I am.
Yeah, he's pretty skinny.
But I'm worried about Father and Walt.
You probably think not. Not quite big enough for them.
I'm probably gonna keep at it till at least I think maybe whoever is the bigger of the two could
Yeah, can
squeeze
scrape
uncomfortably through.
All right, so you stay another while, pound away, and you do eventually get it where it is not a straight line anymore. Though they have to kind of wiggle where they go in and under a little bit to come out to the other side. It's a little bit of a uncomfortable wedge, but you can do it, and you feel it is opened up enough that you all can get through it now.
I feel like Father Bartimaeus and I are probably mumbling at ourselves under our breath, like, gotta defeat the worms, but no, I gotta wiggle like a worm to get to the worm.
Right. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I don't know if anyone's a Star Kid Productions fan, but I've been singing the Wiggle song in my head since the worm stuff has been happening. Yeah, so I'll squeeze through and I'll shuffle the rocks I push that way out of the way for people. And then I guess also do the fetch thing again to see the boxes and get the boxes and the thing.
And you wiggle your way through enough and the ground rumbles while you're squeezing through it. And it's unnerving because you feel the little rocks above you kind of not collapse. I don't use that word. Like little bits of rocks and dust fall from the ceiling on you while you're laying in that wedge coming out. And it creates a cloud of dust pretty much everywhere. And it stops. It stops pretty abruptly. And when the dust clears a moment later, there's a face looking at you. It is green-gray. It's not really a full face. It's more like a sheet pulled over a face, and there are tendrils and roots wrapped around it that seem to be writhing toward you.
I'm gonna do the tried and true Appalachian way. I do not make eye contact, and I pretend I did not see it and get out of the way so other people can join me.
So you pull your way backward?
No. Well, is it like fully blocking me?
No, it's off on one side, kind of.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep still going for it, just like purposely keeping my eyes forward. I did not see it. If I do not see it, it is okay. This is the Appalachian way. We don't see it. We move forward so others can join
Until
us.
it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Until it doesn't work anymore.
And whoever's next, I think it was Professor Hayes was next. You see Tegan suddenly start wiggling really fast. And you start hearing whispering from up there that you've heard words like those, but not exactly like that. And you feel your hands kind of pull intensely into a shape, and you've felt that a couple times recently with words you had kind of remembered from your book. And there's something being said in the whispers that you hear something like, darkness is deep within, or something like that, and
he just starts muttering that darkness is deep within.
And when you do that, your eyes open wider and you see the darkness in front of you as nothing. You see it through the dust and the cloud, and you see a face up ahead of you, in between you and Tegan, that is whispering, "We are here for you. Are you here for us?
I am.
Follow me, follow me." And
I will.
this thing kind of turns and goes down a hole or a wedge on the side that isn't the same one that Tegan had dug through. So back behind there, Walt and Bartimaeus and Benny, you kind of see Professor Hayes will kind of wiggle through and then kind of veer off to the left. Maybe there's an open space up there. Tegan, you feel kind of Professor Hayes behind you, like nearby, and then he's moving more than you thought he would. Like, you thought he would pull up next to you, and he's still scrambling through there and not pulling up next to you. Back behind there, Walt, there's still a cloud of dust and everything, and you're next up to go through the wedge.
You just hear Tegan's voice go, "Wood rules! Wood rules!"
Unless I can tell that Tegan's voice is coming from a different direction than the professor's, then I would assume that I'm just going to follow the person in front of me, which would be the professor.
Yeah, and when you go, the cloud of dust starts to clear for you, and you see Tegan's feet up ahead of you.
Do I see Tegan's feet, or do I see the professor's feet?
Tegan's feet.
And I can see that the professor went a different direction?
You see how he kind of veered off a little bit, but like maybe you thought he was kind of going to work around Tegan to get a view at the same time or something, but the professor is not there next to you, in front of you, like disappeared into the dust.
Hey, Professor, where you going?
Silent, no response.
Yeah, you don't really hear anyone calling you.
Tegan, can you see? Bless you. Tegan, can you see him up there?
It's all this ding dang cold dust, man. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he ain't up here with me. But I'm gonna be real. If he looked at the thing that no, you didn't see it, might be going a little bit south.
The hell you mean? Look at the thing you didn't see. What?
You didn't say it. Wood rules when you're walking in the wood. No, you didn't. You didn't say it. You didn't hear it. It ain't there.
This is a little bit of a different situation.
No, it's not. It's still here.
We're not in the woods.
But the woods are here because it's the root worm trees that I don't know. The laws of the world are not where they're supposed to be right now, okay? But yeah, he ain't here with me. I don't know. I heard him go like this way, and I guess like maybe his skinny body found like someplace else he could like get into. But he ain't up here with me.
I'm gonna call out to him one more time, and then I have another idea. But Professor Hayes.
There's no response, but you do see that there are more openings off on the sides, a little bit more distant, but they get even thinner in some places. It seems like maybe it'd be hard for someone to squeeze through that even.
Does it look like? I know that Benny's back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Benny would have been behind Walter.
Yeah.
Does it look like the same, like, offshoot direction that she had seen the original route?
Yes.
She says that then. She goes, "That's where I saw the thing that I wasn't supposed to see. That was calling my name.
Oh,
It came from right
hell.
there."
Well, shit. And
Mary
Walter
Mother
starts
Christ.
heading in the direction of wherever Benny was pointing.
No, don't.
Ain't losing another one of ours today.
And
No,
you start
it's not-
scrambling. You can't really scramble in there. You start writhing your way through there, and
Worming my way through to get to the damn worm and da-da-da-da.
and you see
Should have taken the rope.
You see Professor Hayes's shoe up ahead of you.
Just the shoe.
No, I'm not saying that.
I tap at the shoe. Professor!
It's solid. There's more than shoe there. It might be his foot in there.
I'm just trying to get his attention at this point.
Professor, you are in a space hearing words and whispers that they seem to make a lot of sense. It's almost like you understand. The words are from the old times. And there's a darkness around you that you can see through, and you see many faces all around you. Dozens, hundreds maybe. All of them partially in the shadows, and they all seem to be looking out at you through a cave or something that you're looking out of, and then suddenly you hear them calling out. How do you call out, Walter?
How am I calling out to Professor?
Yeah, what are you saying?
I'm just yelling his name. Professor!
You hear him calling you, Professor, Professor. Dozens and dozens of them yelling your name in concert, almost like a chorus for you.
I've traveled so far to find you.
Walter, you hear him speaking or mumbling to something, but not in a language you know. It ain't English. It It may not even be Appalachian.
At that, Walter's gonna go again. Ah, shit! Professor's having one of them fits again. And I'm actually gonna influence or control one of the bees to go out and sting him.
Oh. So you are hearing the call, and then suddenly you feel a pinch on your buttocks.
That's where I train all my bees to sting.
Very
I look
effective.
behind me.
And it wakes you up, and you realize you're sitting in this place, and there are tendrils wrapped around your face, and there is a face right in front of you, and there is almost like a tendril in your mouth.
Ooh.
And it is wiggling in there. Try it. And your eyes open wide, and what are you doing?
Oh. I don't think there's any way, even Professor with his notions,
Mania.
for not to be.
Mania.
You wake up with a tentacle down your throat. I don't think there's any reaction, but like, no. There's
So-
not like a yes, give me more.
Walter, you feel him suddenly jerk and start
11.
wiggling back as fast as he can right into you. You end up face to butt crack on him so fast it is not even funny as he is trying to pull back.
I'm backing up or side scooting, side worming as quick as I can.
And you're able to pull your way back, and as you're doing it, that tendril thing sort of fades into the darkness of this crack you were in, and you see Walter there on the side and Tegan on the other side, and he had pulled himself and wedged him up into a crack that it is surprisingly narrow. You're not even sure how he got up in there. But his face is scraped up some, not injured, but little scrapes.
I want to try to reach out to that being telepathically. They have to be able to understand me, and they have to be willing, so they can just say no.
You do not get a response to your attempt.
Okay.
Did you say bee or being?
Being the bee.
Okay.
Not the
Sorry,
game.
I misheard. I'm like, he was just listening to me.
Your ass burns.
Yeah.
When I finally get a view of the professor, I'm like, hey, are you all right?
There are scrapes on his faces, and along his lips there are cuts around his orifice.
You look like you've been chewing on broken glass. What the hell are you doing?
I want to find out what is going on here. We need to understand. We're gonna try to blow this up. Is
Yes.
more just gonna come? Is that really gonna end it? Will we be safe? I was hoping to get some answers.
I don't think chewing on broken glass is gonna save anything.
Hold on one sec. I got something for this. Can I do it's not take flight, what's it called? The ability for speaker has for, where is it? What is it? I'm in the wrong part of the book. And sorry, my system's running a little slow. I thought there was an ability that I had that let me figure out someone was lying. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Can I do a seeing through deception to see if that's actually what was going on, or if the good professor was... lost in the sauce again, or do I even need to do one to see if the professor was lost in the sauce again?
He may have been lost in the sauce while also believing that's what was happening.
But anyway, so would that be? That's how we leave it there.
He
Well,
seemed
come
to
on,
be
let's
in
get through this
belief.
damn hole.
And
You want to do a roll off for it?
Scott, do you want us to roll off for it? Or?
I think if you did it right away, I think, yes, you'll roll, but I think your roll, Father Bartimaeus, would be eased by one at the disconcerting mind of the professor for a little bit after that.
That would be a 15 on the die.
Yeah, so that's an 18.
8 on the die.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's lying for sure.
Through his teeth, not saying anything.
Yeah.
You just see the look that you've gotten a couple of times from Father Bartimaeus. Of someone who sees through yo shit.
Yeah, every time.
And you're all up in there and squeezing through, and Tegan, you are the first one to reach a place where it opens enough where you don't feel quite pressed against on both sides, top and bottom. And it starts to, the wedge, you've gone through the tightness of the wedge, and it's starting to open up some. Not enough to stand or sit up or anything, but not to feel the pressure like you're crawling through something pushing on you.
I'm like stay near the entrance that I get out, but I'm also purposely not looking around the cavern quite yet.
And the rest, you feel the sense, you sense the rest of the party coming up behind you. Benny, what are you doing?
She was over on the bench.
I was over.
Yeah. No, Benny just following super close. Like, she's picked up on the don't look. So she's like looking at the bottom.
The ground.
She's looking at the ground as she's crawling.
All right.
And she like, she's just following. Being 30 feet away right now is not an option, so she is just following super close.
Yeah. Up ahead, Tegan, you're crawling through, and it's a little moist up here, and you can feel a little bit of water dripping down from the ceiling. That's common in mines. Place where it just sort of leaks water from above or whatever. And Benny just went into the darkness.
She did. What just happened to my lights?
You're in the caves.
Right.
And there's a place where it sort of, the drips happen quite a bit for a while, all over the place. Not constant, but enough that it's annoying. And then you see up ahead where it opens up to a cavern up ahead, and it's like you see this hole, and then it opens up both above and below. The rest of you're following up, and the water's dripping on you too as you're going through and whatnot. And you get taken. You're the first one to get to the edge of where it opens to the cavern, and it's large enough you could slide down and walk, and it's about twice the height of a person from the bottom to the top, and you're about midway in that space. So you'd have to slide to the ground, and if you wanted to crawl around, and if you wanted to walk in there.
Before I slide down, I'm gonna make sure our explosive devices are securely in the cavern. We're going to be blowing up. And then I will hold on to whatever ledge until I see someone almost there, and then I'll let go to slide down.
So how are you checking your explosive devices up in that little wedge?
So I can get them in the cavern, per wording. I know we flavored it where it banged around, but it does disappear and reappear.
Right. Right. I'm saying it's hard to until you have some more space. I mean, you can, I guess, wedge it, pull them off your back, and pull them in front of you and see them. Can you make me an intellect roll, please?
Ooh, I can do that. I'm good at those. I can totally do that. That's gonna be a 16.
All right. So you're looking at them, and they look like they're in good shape, except the fuses. About half the fuse is now wet.
Pagan keeps this to herself and is not going to tell anyone.
You just know that probably means instead of getting like 10 seconds of time, you're probably gonna have like 5 seconds of time from the time you light the fuse.
Pagan's gonna keep that to herself. Not gonna
All
tell you.
Good idea. And then are you? So you look around and it looks like a cavern. There's not a whole lot. There's no light except what you bring. So you then slide forward, or you wait for the others?
I'm gonna wait until I see someone getting close, and then I'll slide to like.
Yeah, Professor Hayes right next to you soon after.
Yeah, and then
you
I'll
can
just
see
slide.
down in here fine. There ain't no place you can't see in this darkness.
What took you so long, Professor? Jesus.
Distracted.
Oh, well, aren't you always distracted? People say I'm distractible. I am very mission focused right now. You are much more distractible than I am. Let's blow some stuff up.
And you see in there, Professor Hayes, there are some things that are on the ground, writhing in there. Maybe 2 feet long and wiggling like a grub. Yeah,
it's worms.
And there's
it's full of worms.
There's several of them in here within your sight, but there's a lot of stalactites and stalagmites that have limited your range of visibility. Not that you can't see in the dark. You're seeing in the dark. It's just there are things blocking a lot of the room, the cavern.
Did we just all squeeze through that hole to now have to squeeze back through the hole to get out for the explosion?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Why would we make it easy on ourselves? Escapes aren't fun unless it's done under extreme pressure.
We will have talks about this, Ms. Foxcroft, for future interactions and future job opportunities.
Look, I do not have a map of the mind embedded into my brain, nor a drilling device to drill through a hole to get us a bigger, easier entrance and exit, okay? If you want to supply those, I can make it happen. Otherwise, we stuck with what we got. Which is me and a hammer.
And then, Walter, you can slide up next to Professor Hayes, who's next to Tegan, kind of looking over the cavern edge. It widens out enough that you can all end up laying on the ledge, looking down into it before making a decision what to do. It's just narrow, that's all. Tight, top and bottom.
Walter, can you send your bees to look for your family?
I can certainly try. And with that, I am indeed going to attempt to control the swarm of bees that I have on me to basically do recon.
All right.
And I'm even going to I guess this is something that we haven't really talked about as a character, but I imagine that Walter probably carries around some kind of a memento of Ellie and Evie with him, be it a locket or something like that, or even a picture in his wallet. And he kind of shows it to the bees, almost like a bloodhound kind of scenting them before he sends them off on their way.
All right. And they start flying through, just swarming into this cavern space. and it is cavernous. And they land in a lot of places and kind of inspect. And there's a lot of places where but they seem to stay away from the ground. They seem to stay up above. And you get the feeling that they have collectively gathered in one place deep in there.
With that realization, I think Walter would get rather excited, and he's thinking to himself, I think that they might be in there. And he starts shimmying his way down into the cavern, kind of.
Watch the worms!
Bartimaeus just sighs and starts crawling after him.
Well, once you go into the cavern, you can walk. It's not narrow. You're on the ledge where before you slide in.
Bartimaeus was behind everybody, so he has to crawl up to get down. So.
When Benny was here doing surveillance, well, can she even see where the bees landed?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. She's no help.
Yeah, Walter can sense the swarm where they are and what's doing.
So I'm quickly walking fast toward it, as quickly as I can without running and also tripping on a stalag bottom.
All right. Can I get a speed roll from you, please?
Sure.
It is very rough, broken terrain. You are hindered by one.
Okay, I am going to put a level of effort into it.
All right, so you cancel out that.
That is a 19 on the dice.
All right, you are determined and focused, and you continue and you run out. As a matter of fact, he runs out and around several of the stalagmites, and he disappears from view from everyone except Father Bartimaeus, who's following as fast as he can. Can I get a speed check from you, Father Bartimaeus? Because he is moving.
That would be a 17 on the die. Not quite as fast. Not moving slowly by any means.
All right. So he doesn't lose you, but he is ahead of you, and he's moving as fast as he can. And you see up ahead of you, Father Bartimaeus, that Walter is standing under a stalactite, a really large one, and the bees are just all over this thing. It does not have the traditional dripping point you see on a stalactite. It's sort of rounded on the bottom, but it is up higher than you can reach.
Bartimaeus is cursing under his breath as he's making his way towards this bullshit.
Walter, what are you doing? You see the bees on this stalagmite, and you're standing under them, and they're just on it. It's just...
I would say that
Now, these stalagmites in here, they look like roots, not rock.
And the one that they are swarmed upon, does that look like roots too?
Yes.
Okay. That ain't no rock. That looks like part of a tree or something.
And it does this.
Benny whispers under her breath, "That's what I told him it was."
I think they might be in there.
And the bees kind of unswarm and then come back on it like you controlled them to do.
So like the not stalactite root ball is like convulsing? Is that kind of how
It just did for a moment.
Okay. How high is it out of reach?
I mean, you could jump and touch it.
Okay, well, I think before Bartimaeus gets there, Walter is going to start jumping and like reaching and grabbing and trying pulling at the roots on it.
And when you do, and you pull, you touch it, and you pull, you hear, "Daddy, is that you?" And there's a face at the bottom of this root that looks vaguely like your daughter. And there are worm shapes that kind of run out the nose and mouth and over its head. And it wiggles under you, and you see up, and then you see the roots then they like expand over it, and it's suddenly just a root ball again.
At that point, Walter is 100% distraught and is going to, as quickly as humanly possible, try and tear at the roots as much as he can from even jumping. I'm coming, Evie! I'm coming! Daddy's coming! If I hear Father Bartimaeus coming up behind me, I'm gonna be, give me a boost up, damn it! It's in there! And the bees are probably also going to start getting very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but very agitated and start...
Oh yeah, they start swarming off. They don't stay on it.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think I would also, whether it was intentional or unintentional, be controlling or influencing the swarm to start pulling at these roots or biting at these roots in some way or form.
Yeah, the bees don't have any effect on this thing, but there really isn't anything for you to grab. You can touch it, but it's like a ball. There's nothing to grab from here. You can't reach it enough to do nothing.
Damn it! I'm gonna start looking around for something to like use as a step stool.
There ain't nothing to use like that. There's only, and then Father Bartimaeus is there behind you.
Father, give me a boost! And I'm gonna pull out my pocket knife or whatever kind of knife hunting knife is what I carry.
All right.
So Bartimaeus has a golden ring that is a seal ring. It has a papal cross on it with a dagger and a key superimposed behind the shield. It's an indent. He is going to spin Walter around and backhand him with enough force to leave an imprint of that seal on the man's cheek.
To me?
Yes, to Walter. I'm assuming this is a surprise attack because Walter wasn't ready for it.
Neither was Robby.
Neither was Robby. Neither was me. Neither was I. And y'all.
I'm half expecting you to like. This ring will blast fire.
Me too. I wonder what you're doing with your ring.
So, anyways, I'm assuming that I am rolling a might check on this.
Well, you would have hit him. It was totally surprise. There's no
right.
missing.
Cool. Cool.
As a rebuttal, slight rebuttal, maybe. I do have wrap as
on your face,
like bee armor
on your face.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's just around my person. I wouldn't say it's for or against my face. But
although, actually, I think if you were struck, the swarm would react defensively.
That's fair.
It's not even like we would have thought about it.
Willing to get stung for this. Willing to get stung for this.
This is gonna sting.
Right.
And the swarm, it definitely starts. It comes all over around you and starts stinging at you, and you feel the stings, and it is not.
Yep.
You
Oh,
can't.
it's not pleasant. It hurts.
As I am smacked in the face, I'm not like knocked out, am I?
No. Not that strong.
Okay. Not. I guess knocked aside.
Back into your senses. Back into your senses.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but what? Still distraught. Walter, and pardon my French, is what in the fuck was that for?
And he's being stung and trying to swat at bees and.
No, he's not actually. He's just I'm only take the damage of the body damage of this.
All right.
Just taking.
You will take a point of damage by standing
That's
and taking all those stings at once.
That's fine. What did I warn you when we came up here?
She's in there.
She's not.
Well, then help me cut it open and prove it to me.
You want me to prove it to you? Okay. Takes out holy water. A vial of holy oil. Yeets it up so that it shatters on the root.
All right.
There was a reaction last time holy water touched
Yep.
one. Holy is, yep.
Yep, I know. When the holy water splashes on the side, you see it peel away root, and a hand drops out the side, just sort of
dead?
like this, and it moves.
See, that's her. Help me! Come on, get.
And you recognize that hand, Walt. That is a hand you would know no matter where it was.
Wait, you said I do know that hand?
You know that hand.
Yeah.
Second vial of holy oil. I have 2 more after this one.
All right. Each one opens a little space. It is a big root. It is not really big enough to coat the thing. And through the hand, you see there's roots that kind of wind through the hand and through the fingers.
It's like it's out also, or just around?
In through it and around it.
Hagen's gonna do a dumb thing as Hagen does, because all of this has gone on. While the father's just yeeting these things up there and like slowly opening the root more, she's gonna walk up to Walter and not even asking him for a boost, just start climbing up him. And she's gonna just start like pushing herself into getting the root open. So like, essentially she's okay with if she gets taken by the root, but she's gotta get at least the daughter out.
And when you get up there, these roots are really tough. Can I get a might roll from you, please?
As she jumps up, I feel like we kind of have that like tag in kind of thing. I'm gonna hand you my if you don't already have a knife, I'm gonna hand you my hunting knife.
I have a hunting knife now. I have a weirdly big folding knife, but I have a hunting knife. 13.
All right. Well, with the hunting knife, it's actually much easier. But as you start scraping away, I mean, you start to cut anywhere, and there's like an oily ichor that rolls out anywhere you cut, and you're not sure what you're cutting. It feels fleshy on the inside of the root. Now, the outside's pretty tough, and you know that, but it ain't far before you can tell it. There's something different there. What are you doing back there in the back, Professor Hayes and Benny?
Benny's over on the bench.
Nothing.
I was 30 feet away.
I was on the bench.
Well, you can't
Benny,
even see what's going on unless you leave the ledge.
I was on the ledge. I think Benny is. What the heck is about to happen? Benny is like trying, like squinting to try and see through the dark, but is also side-eyeing the professor, making sure the professor doesn't run off again. But is mostly like, I'm not an adult, that's not my responsibility. I'm just squinting through the.
What is the professor doing?
Through the. He unmutes
Professor's
himself.
yep. He's looking at the out into the cavern, quietly, just watching for any sign of danger, but also aware that Benny is there, and keeping like every once in a while like a glance downward to make sure that they're still there and they're okay as well.
you see them, and then you see Father Bartimaeus strike at Walt. I mean, you just have a sliver of space you can see through. And
Okay.
you see him strike him hard.
Yeah, if I could see
backhand.
that, then I would probably say to Benny, this cave is getting to them. We need to get down there.
Okay. Are you sure?
Father
Are you sure
Bartimaeus
it's
just
not
struck
getting-
Walter. Not like a tap either. It was hard.
Benny is like, is that really like a reason? Yeah, okay. She's like, okay, but be like really careful because the grub is down there on the ground and it wiggles around.
I can see pretty well if you want to follow behind me.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You both slide down and walk your way over. When you get over there, you see Tegan has climbed up onto Walter. By the time you get there, Tegan is standing on Walter's shoulders and with a knife cutting into the root, and suddenly she stops. But one thing you notice is there is a hand made of flesh, not bones, that is sticking out of this giant root at this one spot. And Walter is holding Tegan up, and Tegan has suddenly stopped cutting. What are you doing now, Tegan?
I mean, I'm gonna try. I stopped cutting, but I'm full goggles down. I'm not caring about the black ichor. My only goal here is to get the body that looks like it's in this thing out. So I'm gonna I don't care if I take damage. I don't care if I have to fight with something. I'm gonna get as much of the body visible as I can, and then just bear hug it out and down to Walter if there is a body in there.
And it becomes apparent to you after a few cuts or scrapes, my cat wants to go out, that it is hard to tell the difference between the person and the root in here, inside this. And you're not sure where it begins and ends. The color is off, both of the person. There are fleshy tendrils that reach into and around. There is black ichor in there dripping out that you make a cut and it drips like blood.
You said that there was a hole that the hand came out of?
Yes.
Could I wedge my palm in between where the edge of the root is in that hand and put my knife along my palm and then just use that to kind of protect what I feel is the hand and the arm, and then I don't care if I have, like I said, if I have to cut into myself and take damage to do it, but I'm doing my best to feel up the arm and get to where it feels like body of whatever is attached to the arm, and just protect it with my hand and force it up.
That is a sharp knife, and you are definitely going to cut yourself trying to avoid cutting someone else. So you're going to try and dig in there, and I mean it's like you're cleaning out a pumpkin, but it's a very dense one, so tight, and the seeds, it's hard to tell the difference between the seeds and the roots and the tendrils and all that running through it. You start peeling away, and the hands come out. And as it comes out, you peel away. The whole arm kind of flops out. And there are roots that go into the flesh and out and wrap around. And it takes you, 10 minutes to do that. And there is a person there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep going. I'll take whatever damage I need to. I just want to get it visible, and then I can decide how we can, what we need to cut to get her out.
Yeah, you're gonna take 1 point of damage from clearing that. You cut your hands up pretty badly, but this is also the arm, and Benny knows this, seeing it. It is a child's arm. And you start peeling away the flesh. Can I get a... Never mind. Walt, you don't need to make a might roll. You can hold her until you drop. Oh. Father Bartimaeus, you see this happening, and it is beyond the things you have seen, and you have seen demons and haints and crawly things that defy biblical convention. This is new. And that hand, it tightens as you start cutting, and you can see as you're cutting the roots, it is reacting like it's in pain at the roots being carved away from its body.
Careful, Miss Foxcroft.
I got it. Don't worry. I'm using. And I don't know that she would tell them that she's using herself to protect it, but like I'm assuming at this point there's probably like blood dripping off of her arms.
Blood
for yourself.
Mixing in ways.
Be careful for yourself.
You can't even tell the difference at this point between what's the blackness and if the blood is even red. You don't even know. And you peel away. You take another point as you peel away more of the side of this person, and you are having to cut through roots that have gone into this person's body, into this girl's body. And it, honestly, Walter's shoulders and back have taken just damage from holding still for this whole time, waiting for Tegan to pull it away, and then suddenly, as she peels away more and more, the strength of the root above cannot hold the weight, and everything comes crashing down on top of you, and Walter and Tegan.
I think instinctively, as soon as she feels herself falling, Tegan's gonna like yeet the trench knife a little ways away because she doesn't want to drop it on Walter. And is just gonna like latch onto the girl from the root and just like try her best to keep the girl from like hurting herself on the floor. It
collapses. The roots take the brunt of it because there's still more root than girl exposed at this point.
I think Walter would just reactively catch Tegan at least.
All right, you catch Tegan enough. Everything comes down to the ground though, and when this happens, at that moment you realize, looking down, that there are grubs at your feet that have all wrapped around tendrils around everyone, that have seemed to have wriggled their way over to where you were, and they have just reached out and wrapped around a little bit on your feet and your ankles, and you don't even feel it. There's like a liquid on those tendrils that it is, the ground is alive.
Can't stay here.
No.
I don't know that Walter would have noticed, because as soon as that root
everyone
ball
else
fell,
notices.
yeah. I'm on that root ball, peeling away whatever else needs to get peeled away.
Careful. Like Tegan's trying to calm him down. So like,
and you're peeling away, and there's movement when you peel, and it looks, the reactions are like pain, like the hands tighten and clench, and you have seen your girl in pain as a kid. Like there were things that hurt her in the past, scrapes, and you even recognize those motions as the motions of her.
Oh, Avie, I'm coming. Come on, hang in there. I'm still cutting away.
What are you doing, Father Bartimaeus, as these...
Realizing the grubs switching over from a bottle of holy oil to one of my remaining bottles of holy water, I'm going to just over where the grubs are, just at my feet, and just make a path over. And at this point, knowing that this is going to have to go all of the way in order to snap Walter the hell out of his senses, I'm going to actually use that water and my other remaining bottle of holy water to kind of create a circle around us for protection.
As you're doing it, actually, Professor Hayes is probably the one that knows this. There are a lot more grubs in here than you had noticed. They seem to have all wiggled from all directions to this spot. And when when Father Bartimaeus pours out this ring, they stop at that edge if they're not already in. And they seem to be, weirdly, they have like mouths or something where they kind of not snap but kind of reach forward, and there are one of them you see 2 fingers, like, and you know by the shapes that those are fingers wrapped in roots.
Are they like accumulating on the edge of this ring now?
Yes.
Do they have the professor and I by the feet as well?
They had
Also,
started putting tendrils around your feet, but not enough that you couldn't step up and pull away yet.
Do I see Benny and Professor Hayes as I'm doing
Yeah,
this?
you're all in this ring
Yeah, we're
together. And
Professor Hayes?
And Benny's face is probably just a sheet. As
Professor
she sees
Hayes.
the things wrapping.
Yes, Father.
Yeah.
I need you to do something for me. And I'm quite certain you know what I'm about to ask you to do. I need you to make sure that Benny gets to St. Louis, to the Basilica, and to Archbishop John Joseph Kane. She has a letter for him. I am planning on getting out of the mine. If we do not come out of the mine, make sure she gets there. The Archbishop will be able to get things, if we fail getting out of here, to be able to send individuals who can make sure that this does not spread past here.
Basilica, St. Louis, John Joseph King.
I think
Correct.
hearing that, Tegan's gonna try and like get the root. I'm gonna call her Root Child because I don't remember the daughter's name. As cleared off as possible, because if Professor Hayes is taking Benny, then Tegan's probably gonna try to get him to take the other girl too. Because if the daughter was stuck in a root ball, she knows the mom's probably stuck in a root ball, and Walter would want to stay here to get the other one out.
It depends on exactly what happens with this. We'll find
Yeah,
out.
but I was like, at least we can
But
get
if
the
they're-
daughter out.
Right.
What are you doing, Benny, when you see those roots kind of,
But-
these tendrils trying to wrap around your foot? It was slow, by the way. It seemed like they were.
But these.
Benny, you did a great job. You helped us
No,
so much
these
to get
things,
this far.
They make us the hand. They make us see things. These monsters. How do I?
No, they do make us see things. I'm trying to get Walter to realize that. If I can't, and if it takes me too long to do so, there's a chance that we might not be able to make it out. Now, you made me a promise when I agreed to let you come in here. Do you remember what that promise is?
Benny probably does. Nekola doesn't.
Leave it. Father
She just
Barnabas told you to.
Start faced.
Do you remember that promise?
I don't remember.
You promised.
I don't
You,
remember. For making that promise.
you promised me that if I told you to leave, you would leave. Someone needs to get. You have a very important letter that needs to get somewhere to a very important person. If we cannot make it out of here, who can help with this? Can I trust you to deliver that letter for me?
Yes.
Professor Hayes, please make sure she gets there. You will find in my baggage at the church enough money for you both to get there comfortably on train, as well as some additional money. You are welcome to that additional money for getting her there safely.
The ground rumbles and dusts. Little rock pebbles drop while you're there. But those things are all stuck outside that ring you had made. The few that were inside were the ones that were kind of trying to wrap tendrils around your feet. They're small enough you can kind of just chuck
Squish
them
'em.
out. But does leave you kind of in a circle that is the only protected space.
For how long?
Please.
We can.
Have we cleared off enough of the what appears to be my child for me? Like, can I see her face, her body? Like,
Yeah, while they're talking, you're peeling furiously and tearing away at the roots, and you get to the place where her face is, and there's a root that goes into her mouth and wraps over her head, and you peel them away, and scraped up and scratched, it is definitely Evie.
no, come on. Is she
Now, Professor. As he turns and goes back to...
And her eyes open when that root comes out. Daddy! And her voice is so raspy, it just doesn't even sound like... It's almost like she can't talk, but tries to say, Daddy.
Oh, honey, I miss you so bad. And at this moment, I think Walter is so overcome with emotion that the bees, I think, start to swarm around him again. And clearly something is physically ailing her, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to attempt to use an ability that I just learned called Alleviate, which is using my skills, knowledge, and any items that I have at hand. I can attempt to cancel or cure one malady, such as disease or poison, in one creature.
Okay.
And I'm going to... The bees are just swarming around me, and I'm going to take out of my breast pocket... I've got kind of there's like a small vial or a couple of vials of royal jelly, and I'm gonna pour just a little bit into her mouth.
And when it goes in, I mean, it takes a moment because it's very thick and viscous. It goes in, and the roots that have dug into her flesh slowly peel out and peel off, and they leave open lesions all across her body and scrapes, and it's like this thing has dug into her and become part of her, or her become part of it. And
I have bandages. I'll quickly, it's just seeing like all the blood and wounds, just instinctively I'll take out some bandage out of my bag and just try to start wrapping.
And when you pull
any
the
lesions.
bandages out, Professor, you hear, you can save her. Just return her to the roots. There's places around that will take her and accept her, and we'll teach you all the knowledge you need.
No, get it shut
all.
up, damn you.
You'll get all the
Professor.
knowledge.
Professor.
Father? She's
I will
alive.
I will hold the wounds closed. You wrap them.
And I think as soon as, like, even just the initial movement of Professor Hayes toward my daughter, like, anything coming near her, like, I immediately look up and with like a
He sees it.
like that's a threat.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, Walter.
Tegan has to put like a hand on Walter to calm him down, but she's gonna
So-
look at Benny and be like, Benny, I have an important job for you. This little girl needs to get out of here. Right? She's sick, she's hurt, she needs to get out of here. So I need you to be a grown-up and help us get it out of here. And she just kind of like looks at the father like, we're getting her out of here.
He gives an answer, thanks. And again, so Bartimaeus says any of the larger wounds that would need to be held together so they could be closed properly, he's doing so.
Yeah, when the roots are pulled out or cut out, they fill with that black ichor, and it leaves like a paste. It leaves like a paste over the skin. It kind of it's like blood, but it's thicker and hardens as it drips down, almost like a way for it to cover its own wounds, like a tree sap would do.
Walter's just cradling her at this point, just like, I'm so glad I found you.
Would you say? Sorry, go ahead, Robby.
No, that's just reaction. Go ahead.
Would you say that she looks like she's getting a lot worse, having us taking her out and the things come out? She's kind of bleeding all over the place. It seems that way.
She's ichoring all over the place for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Also, Scott, I did send you a message if that affects how I... what happens when I...
When you rub it over?
Yeah.
It really won't have an effect there.
Okay, no, all good.
Yeah.
More testing to make sure this is actually the child than anything else.
Roots want her back. I hear them whispering.
Daddy, it's so dark.
This
And
time
she
it's
yells
Tegan.
out, and her eyes are open, but it's like they're fuzzed, like the pupils and the irises are
They're kind
unclear.
of, yeah.
I know, honey. I know it's darker than hell down here, but we'll get you out of here. We're gonna get you out of here. We're gonna take you to Gazzy's, and you're gonna be just fine.
I think seeing Walter focused on the daughter and hearing Professor Hayes be like, "The roots want her." We should just give her... I think Tegan is like real close to just
No.
stopping the professor.
Only Professor Hayes
No.
heard that talking to him.
No.
He
It's
mentioned-
his
Oh,
own
no, he
special-
said it out loud.
He said it.
Said it out loud.
He
No.
just said it out loud. He said the roots
Yeah.
want
He
her.
did, yeah. But
But
Hear
we're not
me
gonna
out.
give them back, are we?
look, if she's going to die like this, and she was sustained in the roots, maybe
Is this being sustained?
And
Or
now
she-
she punches
or
him.
something?
she was
Right.
alive.
I think
There's a whole lot of hitting tonight.
She's not gonna die.
Then we need to get her out of here.
Exactly.
Then we need to get her out.
Take the bulb.
I swear to whatever is up there, because I have not verified it, that if
Trust
anything
verified.
other than this daughter getting to where y'all are going in the church happens to this kid, I will manifest a haunting of myself. Drive you mad.
I don't think that'd be that hard, Miss Foxcroft. But I trust that he will make sure that the children get where they need to go.
We must take the bulb. The whole bulb. It's
No.
detached, right?
No,
No.
bad thing, stay in place. We're about to blow up. Bad thing does not leave the bad place.
We're still blowing this place sky high. We're not taking the bulb with us. We
Take
need
the
to get
daughter.
her out.
Benny,
Everyone
Benny
stops and looks at
has
Benny.
gone
Oh.
like
Nekola.
Benny has gone full like I have a mission mode. And the hole that we came through
Yeah.
is going to be really difficult. Sorry, I also am getting notifications that my internet's getting fuzzy. So if I'm
Oh.
missing something, sorry. The hole that we came through is going to be super difficult to get this girl back through, if I understand it correctly.
Yes.
So Benny was remembers from when it came before that there were farther ways I just couldn't reach them with my string.
Correct.
Can she run to like look at those while they were having that conversation and
Sure.
Tegan was like, we got to get the girl out. Benny
Sure,
was
you
like,
can go check them.
so
for sure.
She wants to look at these other exits to see.
All right. So
She wants to go look at those to see if there's a better way to get out.
you leap out of the circle and start running in a direction opposite the one that you had come in, by the way, Father Bartimaeus and Professor Hayes, what have you. And they disappear pretty quickly into the darkness, although not to Professor Hayes, who can totally see in the darkness here. You see her run over to these places. It looks like this cavern is like a bowl, and there are other ledges that are different heights that Benny climbs up onto and starts looking through. It doesn't take long before Benny kind of disappears from sight, though, because there's so many stalactites and stalagmites in the way that she just disappears. But you do hear the pitter patter of her feet kind of running over and up and through the rocks and pebbles and stones that are in here. Welcome, thank you for the raid from afar. We are in a worm dream of some, or nightmare of some type.
Yeah, I was about to say, I believe you mean that.
Dream is a strong word.
Yes. So you get over there, Benny, and you see that there are places that are a little wider or taller, and then there is one that is almost like a walking passage. It comes to the ledge, not further. You don't know where it goes, but that looks like it was cut like miners cut it.
Okay. Benny will No, I won't do that. Do I Is there do because that thing had grabbed my string. Did we get my string back? Did it let go, or do I?
Yeah,
have
you
to
were able to
push
pull the
it
string through
My
because
string was gone.
it didn't squeeze. It didn't squeeze tight. It just sort of
Okay.
like that, and the string just kind of
Okay.
was stuck on the roots for a bit. And yes,
Okay.
you were able to get
Then,
your
of
string.
course, without discussing this with anybody, because nobody can even see me right now.
Right.
I tie one end of the string to the stalag stick
Stalagmite.
closest to
Yeah, there's
closest
one right
to
there.
the entrance. I tie it real tight, and then I walk, practically running, holding this string to see where this tunnel leads. But I don't think she would go more than like running pretty quickly. I don't think she would go more than a minute.
And you follow it. It kind of zigzags a little bit, and it ends at like a makeshift wooden ladder up. Old, not something fresh, but it goes up.
Can I see the light or anything?
No, you don't see light. It don't go to
And
just
does it
an
look-
opening into the above outside.
Does it look sturdy? Or does it look like decayed?
It looks like it's decayed some, but it's good wood. It's not like it's just falling apart. It's old.
Yeah.
Experienced.
It is an experienced
Seasoned.
ladder.
Seasoned.
Season.
Seasoned wood ladder. Back where in the holy water circle with the root girl.
Yeah.
You peel away the rest of the roots, leaving all these lesions on the girl, and you can see that it is your daughter intact. But for sure,
Yeah, I'm just kissing her on her forehead and just like kind of rocking back and forth with her cradled in my arms. And Evie, can you hear me, honey?
and her hand kind of reaches up and touches your cheek a little, and then it falls back weak. And that's all that could be mustered.
Oh, Evie, this if you can hear me, if there's any way you can tell, is your mother down here?
I don't know. I don't know where.
All right, well, we're gonna get you out of here.
I don't know
We're
where
gonna get
it
your mother
took
too.
Can
her.
Tegan look for a similar root ball to what we found the daughter in to see if she could spot one that I'm assuming it's probably going to be bigger because adult versus child.
Yeah.
Child size versus adult size.
You don't see any more that look like this. This was the only one that seemed to have that rounded shape at the bottom and was big enough in both width and length to potentially house a person that you know. There are a lot of them that come down, but they're more like strong roots with a lot of vines and stuff kind of reaching out and tendrils from the roots. But this one was definitely different.
We're gonna get you out of here, hon. All right, what way are we going?
And
Back in the tunnel, Benny's gonna wild shape into an owl, and go up to see how far up this ladder goes.
all right, so you go up the ladder, and it goes up a fairly good way, and then it doesn't end where you expected it to. It ends at a mine cart on a rail that then goes up a tunnel or down a tunnel.
So way out.
That's
Yeah.
that's a way out. Still an owl. Benny will zoom back down, and almost sort of like mid-air as she's like zooming back towards everyone. She's gonna wild shape and kind of like come out of it and just fall down and be like, "I found a better way out, I think." But somebody's gonna need to like fireman carry.
Tegan's gonna be like, okay, well, you get the professor, Benny, and your daughter out of here.
And as you're talking, the ground rumbles again, like it has a couple of times. It's not a big deal. And then rocks and dirt fall on you all from above, little pebbles and rocks. And suddenly you see above you this roundish opening that is surrounded by teeth.
That's a big worm.
I think Tegan's gonna scream go and just
Nope.
like try and like leverage yeet Walter and the daughter towards where Benny said to leave.
Running,
I'll start running too.
helping with that.
And I think this is where we're going to break.
Oh my god! I'm literally picturing the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob right now.
Right.
or Dune. Dune might be
Yeah.
a good approximation.
You gotta go Shai-Hulud.
It's not as big as that. It ain't that big.
Just
More.
as scary.
And
I think at the we're underground in this territory. It might be more scary than a Shai-Hulud at this point.
Yeah, that's
Being
right.
entirely fair.
well, I want to
We're in
thank
the
everyone.
instant.
Huh?
Sorry.
It's okay. I was just saying I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I'm going to let everyone go around and say who they are and where you can find them and drop their links in. Why don't we start with, let's go backwards. We'll start with Nekola. With Benny, not Nekola.
Hi. Yes, Benny. I've played Benny for this evening. The little feisty, little bit obstinate, little bit too brave for her britches. Benny, the hardy explorer who becomes the beast. I myself am Nekola the Druid on all the socials. And you can find me most of the time over at Diversity Saves at diversitysaves.org.
Awesome.
That's it.
Professor
I'm
Hayes.
Yep, I've been playing Professor Erwin Hayes. My name is Brandon Hall. You can find me on Blue Sky at brandon.rpg@z.com. And if you're coming to Gen Con this August, do come find me. I'll probably be at the Monte Cook Games room.
I will definitely be seeing you there.
Excellent.
All right, Grimm. Not Grimm, Father Bartimaeus. Jeez, I gotta stop
Hello,
that.
everybody. This is Father Bartimaeus. I've been piloted by Grimm tonight. You can find me on all socials at empathic_Grimm. I am, again, a game designer by trade. I am probably going to be winding up at Gen Con, at least for a day, so I might also be seeing Brandon and Scott at the Monte Cook room. But we'll see how that turns out, because Gen Con is expensive. So, and money is a thing, because we live in a society. Anyways, everyone have a good evening, and that'll be it for me.
And Walter.
Thanks everybody for following along tonight. At this point, it sounds and feels like I have black lung, so couldn't be a better time to break. If you've enjoyed my character Walter, or if you've enjoyed watching this podcast, feel free to check out what I've been doing, which is not much, but feel free to get and follow along. All my links are at my link tree, Weiss_Robby. Again, thank you to everybody who's watching along, and thanks to the entire cast for making this such an incredible experience.
All right, and Tegan.
Hello, everyone. I am Tegan Foxcraft. Played by Kayla. I do all kinds of design work and freelance things in the TTRPG space, everything from 5e to I work a lot now in Cypher, Monster of the Week, Apocalypse Now, etc., etc., etc. I'm also the general manager at Underground Oracle Publishing. We do tons of fun things in Cypher System, including a setting called Horror of the Blighted Plain, which is like Treasure Planet meets Waterworld. We are getting finished with layout for that so we can get it out published to you all. And we will also be starting our second setting, which is Wild Space, which is like Treasure Planet meets AE, which I don't know if you see a theme there, but we really like Treasure Planet. But with anamorphic animals instead of people, because why not?
Still Treasure Planet. Still Treasure Planet.
Yeah, so still Treasure Planet. And we will, you'll hear more about that if you join our Patreon or follow us on there. I also may be at Gen Con. Maybe see you all there, maybe not. We'll see. So, thank you all for joining us today.
And I'm Scott. This is ZealZaddy. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And the Crit Awards are going. If you want to go nominate some things, I think the players here would these players I can't be nominated yet. We didn't end early enough. We started too late. But next
I can be
year,
nominated again, though.
Yes, for the other one, the previous group. So Grimm can. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in a week. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Burning rock, crackle smoke out of the mountain's mouth, hollowed by a cut, by a slash, by a fiery blow. Running through the valley like it's running through my veins, while red-eyed crows keep watch underneath the blood-red moon. My slunch-wise soul cries out to rise up against the tide of dusty songs cut hard from the dark from the dark mountain stone. Cut hard from the dark mountain stone.